divided in his servants. So when the first was dead, after this manner, they brought the second to make him a mocking stock. And when they had pulled off the skin of his head with the hair,
skin this dude, like Texas Chainsaw Massacre type shit. Skin this dude.
That's what happened to some of the
the
apostles.
guys.
The disciples. So they got one of them got filleted.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Hey,
yeah, but also the Gadites too.
Yeah. No, I was gonna say, Antipas.
Yeah.
You go into that what he went through? Yo, that was just man.
The brazen bull, was it?
The brazen bull.
Yeah.
Man.
They cooked this dude.
They cooked him in there, man.
They pressure cooked him.
Yeah.
Like,
They had like a literal, like they had like a bull that you could put somebody in it,
Like
and
that movie Immortals.
yeah, and they put a fire up under it while he's in there, and they made sure that the bull had the holes in his nose, so that when it starts to burn, the smoke comes out his nose, while the person inside is actually screaming in pain. It's like the bull is actually screaming. Yeah, that's how they did Antipas, man. Which you read about Antipas. That's Apostle John the Revelator. He actually made mention of Antipas, man.
Yeah. Yep.
You know.
And these were Edomites.
Yeah, it was the Romans.
So it's these same devils that are back here today that are going to be doing these things to the men of the Lord.
To read about Antipas, what book is that?
Revelation.
Revelation, the second chapter. Talk about the faithful martyr Antipas. You know.
Then there might be deeper stories about it.
I mean, I did a lesson on it. I went into the actual history behind it. You know. But hey, he was another brother in the faith that resisted unto blood, man. You know. He stood stiffly for the gospel. And they tortured him, man. But going back, it says, so when the first was dead, after this manner, they brought the second to make him a mocking stock, and when they had pulled off the skin of his head with the hair, they asked him, wilt thou eat before thou be punished, thou throughout every member of thy body? But he answered in his own language and said, no. Wherefore he also received the next torment in order as the former did. And when he was at the last gasp, he said, thou like a fury take us out of this present life. But the King of the world shall raise us up, who have died for his laws unto everlasting life. They knew about Yahushua, man.
He wasn't on the scene yet.
This was before Yahushua was coming, man.
First coming.
Yeah. This is during the time of the Greek Empire, man. It says, verse 10, it says, after him was the third made a mocking stock, and when he was required, he put out his tongue, and that right soon, holding forth his hands manfully, like, all right, we'll give you my tongue and we'll do it, right? And he says, and said courageously, these I had from heaven, and for his laws I despised them, and from him I hope to receive them again, insomuch that the king and they that were with him marveled at the young man's courage, for that he nothing regarded the pains.
Nothing. Hey, you see these people?
He was so in the spirit, it was like, damn, do he feel this?
Yeah.
That he's still this bold to say what he's saying to us? Do he not feel the pain that we're inflicting on him? Faith. That extreme faith, man. The people will trip out like, damn, like these dudes.
That's what these Christians are tripping off of.
They tripping.
They've never been introduced to real faith before.
Yeah, man. Verse 13, it says, now when this man was dead also, they tormented and mangled the fourth in like manner. So when he was ready to die, he does say, it is good, being put to death by men, to look for a hope from the Most High, to be raised up again by him. As for thee, thou shalt have no resurrection to life. Man, yo, he basically had the courage to say, I know I'm gonna be raised up, but you ain't gonna get resurrection unto life.
Yeah.
That's faith right there, man.
You gotta put it in the terms of the day. That's like the men of the Lord standing up to Trump, to the head of the FBI, the head of the CIA, and saying those exact words, knowing that they can do whatever they want with you, but still standing boldly in the faith, putting your faith in Yahweh Shem Yahushua. At the end of the day, you got to put it in, to show Jake in today's term. Like you're standing in front of Congress, in front of the what did you call it? The Attorney General, whoever they put in front of you,
That's right, man. They're gonna trip out when they see, they're inflicting all type of pain on you. They playing all type of mind games with you. They doing it all, and you still are just standing where you at.
They're telling you, well, what Karatazar told me that you said, or they're trying to play brothers against brothers. You know how Esau get down.
And you know your brother told on you, right?
Yeah.
He told us everything.
The brother already told me, what.
So you break and you're like, oh, he told him? Oh, well, I know something, like, Then next thing you know, they got you.
Yeah, man.
It's 1 Corinthians 15 and 43. It is sown in dishonor. It is raised in glory. It is sown in weakness. It is raised in power.
They understood that. That the body, but you can kill this, man. The Most High gave me this, but you can kill this, but we're going to be raised in something greater. They knew that a greater body was coming. And the Heavenly Father was going to glorify him for standing stiffly for the name of the Heavenly Father. From Sirach 2. Yeah, Sirach 2.
Yeah.
Yep. Whatever y'all stood, that was all. That was it.
Yeah. Get Matthew. Was that 10? 28? Get that.
There's First Maccabees 50. First Maccabees 2 and 50. Now therefore, my sons, be zealous for the law and give your lives for the covenant of your fathers. Call to remembrance what acts our fathers did in their time, so shall ye receive great honor and an everlasting name. Was not Abraham found faithful in temptation?
Yeah, going back, it's a spirit leading in the faith. All these men, they exhibited the ultimate acts of faith, man. Okay, that's what accounts for our righteousness on this side.
Right.
Not keeping the law, not because you know a bunch of scriptures or you a good orator, man. No,
but you win souls to you, that don't mean nothing.
No, none of that, man. It's about your faith, man. Are you willing to lose your life for the Lord's sake? Go ahead.
Stay faithful to him.
Was not Abraham found faithful in temptation, and it was imputed unto him for righteousness? Joseph, in the time of his distress, kept the commandment and was made Lord of Egypt. Phineas, our father, and being zealous and fervent, obtained the covenant of an everlasting priesthood. Joshua, for fulfilling the word, was made a judge in Israel. Caleb, for bearing witness before the congregation, received the heritage of the land.
It's almost like you reading Hebrews 11 right now. Go ahead.
David,
quoting it before it was written.
David, for being merciful, possessed the throne.
The reason I say is because this was the history that Paul went to in Hebrews 11, that the Maccabees also knew about before Hebrews 11 was written. It was just the history of what happened.
Yeah, Apostle Paul was referencing like the stories that I just read in the Maccabees, and even prior to that, when you read about Eleazar and what he had to endure, that was spoken of in Hebrews 11 chapter, man. Showing you that the Apocrypha is definitely inspired word, man.
Yep.
Go ahead.
David, for being merciful, possessed the throne of an everlasting kingdom. Elias, for being zealous.
That's future. Right. They slipped that in there.
Elias, for being zealous and fervent, for the law was taken up into heaven. Ananias, Azarias,
Elias was actually Elijah.
Ananias, Azarias, and Mishael.
Meshach,
Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. by believing we're saved out of the flame, Daniel for his innocency was delivered from the mouth of lions. And thus consider ye throughout all ages, that none that put their trust in him shall be overcome.
Woo. None that put their, no, fuck what these bodies got going on, what they you do to this. Let me get it. Matthew 28, Sloppy bitches, I know you got something. Matthew 10, verse 28. And fear not them which kill the body, but are not able to kill the soul, but rather fear him which is able to destroy both soul and body in hell.
That's right.
You know, because if you worried about what somebody can do to your body, man, you don't understand the power of the Most High. Yeah. He can truly kill your body and make you feel it forever, man. Even though it was gonna be 5 seconds, he can really get you.
It's a lot. What he's really saying is,
Right.
fear not somebody that could just send you straight to the spiritual realm, and you felt 5 seconds of pain, and then now your spirit went back to the spiritual realm where you don't feel pain, you don't get tired.
Yeah.
A person take you out, man. They kind of doing you a service, man.
Yeah.
You ain't living in this flesh, suffering hell, man. But rather feel the Most High that can keep your ass here on this earth, suffering, wishing that wishing you could die, man.
And you watch them apocalyptic movies like The Road and different movies like that. Or what if you was a crackhead, man? Like, just suffering, just whatever else. Bugged out, schizophrenic, whatever could happen to you. The Most High could allow you to be tormented like that.
Yeah.
So that's, take that physical pain, man. It's worth it to get to that glorious that's coming.
The Most High can destroy your spirit where you don't come back.
If that's what he told
he could,
but
spirits are eternal.
Yeah, kind.
You really can't destroy a spirit.
Yeah, because the spirit is a part of the Most High.
Yeah, exactly.
See you back as a baby to do it all
So,
over.
and that proves that that's not what that means. Where fear him that can destroy your spirit.
Right.
Really, what that's saying is the Lord can destroy yours, because your soul is basically
It said your body though. It didn't say your body.
It says your body, but when your spirit and your body is joined together, that's your soul. It holds your emotions, your appetites, your pleasures. Everything that makes up.
Tendencies.
Yeah. Characteristics. That's your soul. But once your spirit leaves the body, your soul is the soul is no longer there, because the body and spirit is separated.
It's like imagine if I was Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, which my spirit is 7 feet tall, but then I'm putting a 5'3" body. I'm gonna think I'm just the hugest man walking around, greatest basketball player ever or something like that. But I'm 5'3". I can't live that out in that form. I have to live that. That's part of what the soul is about. But my spirit, you put me in the proper body, which we gonna get those glorified bodies. Then you can really be who you're supposed to be. But now you're in captivity, trying to be, the 5'3" man in a 7-foot spirit.
God damn it!
Fuck
you!
Praise to God. Go that way.
What, bro?
You go back. You was holding?
I was just holding the counter down with Brother Rex.
This is because the topic is faith, man. The topic is faith, and dealing with faith, the Most High, as the scriptures say, some men are going to be beheaded for the testimony of Yahweh Shai, man. Either way, you're going to have martyrs within the truth, man. So this pre is going basically talking about that. This Psalms 116 and 15. Precious in the sight of the Lord is the death of his saints. Why? Because the Most High wants to see that you're going to be loyal unto the end, man. Even if it means death.
That you're spiritual enough to see past this carnal life, this temporal life. To see the spiritual aspects of the things on the big picture.
Right. There's also another script. It says, it pleased the Most High to I forgot, but it dealt with Yahweh Shai. He said it pleased the Most High to bruise him, to water him, because it showed that, it showed the faith of Yahweh Shai, man. It showed how strong he was through all the hell that he cut, through all the pain that he cut. Hey, he finished his course.
Acts chapter 6, verse 7. And the word of Yahweh increased, and the number of the disciples multiplied in Jerusalem greatly. And a great company of the priests were obedient to the faith. And Stephen, full of faith and power, did great wonders and miracles among the
If I know
people.
anything about Stephen, he didn't make it past this after this testimony. It's too heavy. Go ahead.
Then there arose certain of the synagogue, which is called the synagogue of the Libertines, and the Cyrenians, and the Alexandrians, and of them of Sicilia, and of Asia, disputing with Stephen. And they were not able to resist the wisdom and the spirit which he spake. Then they
Hey, I give you a mouth with wisdom that neither the adversaries nor the gainsayers could resist. Example right there.
Then they suborned men which said, We have heard him speak blasphemous words against Moses and against the Most High. And they stirred up the people and the elders and the scribes and
They
came
held
upon him.
Moses in such high regard because of the law. And they were in position to uphold the law. I'm talking about the Pharisees in particular, but those people thought the law was the end all be all.
And caught him and brought him to the council, and set up false witnesses which said, This man ceases not to speak blasphemous words against his holy place and the law. For we have heard him say that this Yahushua of Nazareth shall destroy this place and shall change the customs which Moses delivered us. And all that sat in the council looked steadfastly on him, saw his face as it has been the face of an angel.
Now let me ask you something. When that part said that this Yahushua, it says Jesus in there, Yahushua of Nazareth shall change the law, what was he talking about? Read that verse one more time. Anybody know? That's what it said.
For we have heard him say that this Yahushua of Nazareth shall destroy this place and shall change the customs which Moses delivered us.
What is that? Y'all know what that's talking about?
We're talking about the time of Israel for 70 AD captivity.
Change the
So the customs being like the commandments given to us.
Keep going.
So changing the customs, the commandments was destroying this place, the place that we're in, and bringing a new.
Well, the thing was about the customs, right?
Okay.
Which is the law that he's talking about. Because you don't make it to the kingdom of heaven according to the law. When Yahushua came, it became about faith and not by the deeds of the law. Though you practice the deeds of the law to show your faith, that's why we keep the law. That's why it was changed. If I practice the law perfectly, I make it.
They changed
no
the
one
law.
can do it perfectly.
Like you were saying earlier, it's not about more so coming out here casting out demons or bringing but that's stuff that you should be doing. But at the same time, it's more about how you're walking. Right?
It's about your faith that you have in you. You know?
Change the law of sacrifice. Also.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's about
So
it.
if I may read that one more time,
Yeah, thank
that
you.
part.
Acts 6 and 14. For we have heard him say that this Yahushua of Nazareth shall destroy this place and shall change the customs which Moses delivered us.
Meaning what? The priesthood.
Yep.
Yep, that too, yep.
Remember, Yahushua,
Open it up.
he was having a conversation with one of the master teachers, and he said, in 3 days, I will this temple will be destroyed, but after 3 days it will be risen back up. And they took that to mean, wait, hold on, what?
Yeah, you gonna build it.
You know how many years it took to build this, and you saying in 3 days it's gonna be thrown down?
It built up, I mean.
But they didn't
yeah.
understand what Yahushua meant. That basically the temple was gonna be us,
Yes.
Inside the people.
and not an actual physical temple. See, and this was before the second temple got destroyed by the Romans.
Right.
So that was in the temple. That's where the priest would offer up sacrifice and perform the services of the law in the temple. Yahweh Shai came and changed that, and that's why they took that as blasphemy.
Yeah. But Moses delivered us what we were supposed to do, but now you gonna say that's not what's supposed to happen? Who are you? You ran a light. Well, who are you? Well, the truth of the matter is, he was the son of the Most High, and he had the authority to do that. But he didn't. He changed it, but not in a sense of doing away with everything.
Or he didn't do away with the law.
Right.
Make it like accustomed to how we live today, to know how to, so that we are able to do it amongst all of this
Through our faith.
Right.
Because all of that
we're giving
sacrifice
grace.
stuff is all in here. Yeah, it's all happening on the inside. We don't have to go gather up turtle doves and whatever else and sacrifice them. We make the sacrifices within ourselves now. We make our body a living sacrifice. This is part of it. We're sacrificing as we speak.
sacrificing time and everything, and more so focusing
for righteousness. Right.
Hey, get a second.
I didn't want to go away from it. I just wanted to.
Right. No, that's perfect.
I like
Get Hebrews 13. I believe it's like around maybe the 15th verse, if I'm not mistaken. Because there's different sacrifices, but all these sacrifices are acceptable through Yahweh Shai now. Matter of fact, somebody also get 1 Peter 2 and 5 real quick. Matter of fact, get 1 Peter 2 and 5 first, and then get Hebrews 13.
It's 15, but I think 16 is where you want it.
Yeah, get 1 Peter 2 and 5 first.
1 Peter chapter 2, verse 5. Ye also, as lively stones, are built up a spiritual house.
A spiritual house, meaning we make up the temple.
Yep.
All right, not see. You got them imposters over there right now. They're thinking that they're the people, and they think that they're gonna build a third temple. And that's why they're trying to praise Trump right now, because they feel as though he's clearing the way right now. He's helping us fight our enemies. You know, he's helping us with Syria and the Palestinians and ISIS and all that. So, you know, they hailing this dude Trump like he's Cyrus the Great. But really, those are not the people over there. The real temple right now is a spiritual temple. All right? Go ahead.
Are built up a spiritual house and holy priesthood.
A holy priesthood. Go ahead.
To offer up spiritual sacrifices.
To offer up spiritual sacrifices.
Acceptable to Yahweh by Yahweh Shai Mashiach.
By Yahweh Shai Mashiach, man.
17.
All right? So everything that we do through him is considered basically like an offering or a sacrifice to the Most High. Like when we send our prayers up to him, that's a sacrifice. We come out here and teach this word and give you this wisdom, that's part of the sacrifice. Okay? We come out here and stand stiffly and could possibly die for doing this, you know, making our bodies as a living sacrifice. That's that sacrifice. If you can get that Bubba Rashad, because
Hebrews 13 and 15. You want me to start at 15?
Start at 15.
Hebrews chapter 13 and verse 15. By him, therefore, let us offer the sacrifice of praise to the Most High continually.
Continually. Go ahead.
That is the fruit of our lips, giving thanks to his name.
Giving thanks to his name. And when we come out here and we speak this truth, and we come in his name, Yahweh Shem Shai, that's like a sweet savor unto him. Like smelling incense, man. Something that's real pleasant. You love the smell, like, oh man. And as long as you smelling it, it keeps you appeased, man.
What's the scripture that goes where our Lord was not crossed out, but I forgot how it said where our Lord was crucified.
That's Revelation 11.
Yeah, but there's another one that says how, I think it might be in the book of Acts or something like that. But basically the point of it was he was saying where they didn't know the name of the Lord. That one's also in Revelation, but it's another one where it's saying that though. Where his, I think it's Acts 3, like 11, or maybe that's Matthew. But the point being, where our Lord name wouldn't be known, but we're gonna start speaking it. This is speaking something that had been forgotten, that no one ever knew. Now we're speaking it. So imagine if you heard a name of somebody that you hadn't heard in a long time.
This is I shall
Turn to
stir
you.
your minds by the remembrance.
Yep.
That's not the one, but it's basically said where our Lord was crucified. I think
That's the only portion where the only scripture that comes to mind is the one in Revelation where it talks about our body shall be lying in a great city, which is spiritually Sodom and Egypt, where also our Lord was crucified.
That is the one.
Yeah.
Because the point of it was, we didn't know, our people don't know the name of the Lord generally. So for all of a sudden, some of our people will start calling on the name. How precious is that sound to hear? Oh, they remember it. Oh, they're knowing it. So the scriptures out there that you guys were all quoting, all on point. That was thinking of that direct quote. That's that one, I guess, Revelation 11.
Yeah, if you can go back to Hebrews 13, and if you can get Second Corinthians 2nd chapter.
Bro,
I got one also.
Go get that.
it's quiet.
Hebrews chapter 13
That goes
and
with what
verse
you're saying.
16. But to do good and to communicate, forget not.
That goes with
But with such sacrifices, Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai is well pleased.
It's well pleased, man, because the Lord loves oblation, man. You know, he loves sweet smell. So when you offer up the sacrifice of praise to him, that's like a sacrifice to him, man. All right. So basically, the Levitical priests, they didn't have to bring. You don't have to bring a bullock or a ram or a he-goat, a turtle dove. You don't have to bring that into the temple now. Okay. The Lord basically changed that up. So so these wicked Pharisees, they still under the mindset of the priesthood, under the old covenant. You know, dealing with Moses, man. They couldn't see that Yahushua had already, you know, came and made that transition, man. You know, get that for me.
And the Second Corinthians.
And then we'll go. I don't know if you were still there, but we can go back to Acts 6. So basically, the fact that Stephen is actually dealing with that, you know, they basically accused him of blasphemy, man. If you follow Yahushua, then that means that you believe that the priesthood, you know, the law of sacrifice, you believe that all that has changed. So that means that basically you're going against the grain in their eyes. You know, you blaspheme the temple,
taking the power.
You blaspheme, you know, man, you know, you blaspheme Moses.
Yeah.
You know, and that was liable to get you killed back then. Go ahead, Al.
2 Corinthians 2 and 14. Now thanks be unto Yahweh, which always causeth us to triumph in Yahushai, and maketh manifest the savor of his knowledge.
The savor of his knowledge. That aroma, man. It's like an aroma. Hey, you're going to have those that this actually isn't pleasant to. You know, what we teach out here, for the most part, it's like a bad taste in their mouth. Or like a bad smell. Like, I don't agree with what they talk about, man. That don't smell right.
Well, what's our favorite meat? Our favorite meat is the Passover lamb. But people that ain't into that, they're like, ugh.
Right.
It's all nasty. It tastes like ugh. They don't like lamb like that, you know, because the taste and the smell is too strong for them to deal with. The palate is mature enough to accept that flavor, or even wine, red wine. The palate may not be ready to accept that type of drink. It's not sweet enough.
It's not acquired taste.
Yeah.
Right. That's the same thing with this word, man. That's why the Lord said, blessed is he that's not offended in me. Right. People will get offended because of the bitterness that comes with this understanding, man. Go ahead, Al.
And maketh manifest the savor of his knowledge by us in every place. For we are unto the Most High a sweet savor.
We are unto him as a sweet savor, go ahead.
Of Yahweh Shai in them that are saved and in them that perish.
Go ahead.
To the one we are the savor of death unto death, and to the other the savor of life unto life.
And so to some people, you know, this is a way to death, man. I don't agree with that, man. You know, and then you have some that's like, no, what y'all saying, man, that's the words of life right there, man. Let me get some more of that, you know.
And who is sufficient for these things?
That's it. So go back to that, Stephen.
Acts chapter 6, verse 15. And all that sat in the council looked steadfastly on him, saw his face as it has been the face of an angel.
Man, why? Because he was in the spirit, man. That wisdom was just shining off him.
You say you quoted it earlier.
Yeah.
Wisdom maketh a man's face to shine.
That's it, man. Go ahead.
Chapter 7, verse 1. Then said the high priest, Are these things so? And he said, Men, brethren, and fathers, hearken. The Most High of glory, the power of glory, appeared unto our father Abraham when he was in Mesopotamia before he dwelt in Charan, and said unto him, Get thee out of thy country and for thy kindred, and come into the land which I shall show thee.
And basically, when the Spirit came on Stephen, he just gave them a crash course. All right? And that's what happens when the Spirit comes on you, man. All right? It's a burning spirit. It's an inspiration, man, that gives you the understanding, and you just start to speak it, man. It's not what the Christian church say that, oh, all of a sudden when you just start just speaking gibberish, now the Holy Spirit. No. Stephen was in the Holy Spirit right here. He wasn't speaking no gibberish. He was actually going back to the beginning.
He can see the big picture and the whole timeline of history and was orating it in a straightforward, quick manner.
Yep.
Straight to the point.
Hey, and he wasn't right here while he talking to them. He ain't going back through the books and looking for answers to read out to him. He just speaking it as the Spirit is on him, man. He went all the way back to the beginning.
Spirit was giving him utterance to, you know, he was giving him those words that we're talking about in Matthew in that day.
Verse 4, Then came he out of the land of the Chaldeans and dwelt in Charan, and
he started with Abraham, how he left the land of Ur, and he took that journey all the way down to the Promised Land. That's where he started at, because that's really was the Lord began this the covenant that he had established with Israel. It started with Abraham, so that's why he knew to start with the story of Abraham first. Go ahead, huh?
When his father was dead, he removed him into this land wherein ye now dwell. And he gave him none inheritance in it, no, not so much as it to set his foot on. Yet he promised that he would give it to him for a possession, and to his seed after him, when as yet he had no child. And Yahweh spake on this wise, that his seed should sojourn in a strange land, and that they should bring them into bondage and entreat them evil for 400 years.
And what is that talking about?
Man.
What's that talking about?
Can you cite it again, please?
Read that again.
And the Most High spake on this wise, that his seed should sojourn in a
Talking
strange
about Abraham, his seed shall sojourn. Go ahead.
in a strange land.
In a
and that-
strange land. Go ahead.
And that they should bring them into bondage.
That they should bring them into captivity.
All right, so the generation of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob put here in Sodom and Gomorrah, they live out.
Yeah, that's why I kind of laugh, because a lot of people think that prophecy is fulfilled now when that's talking about Egypt. Ancient Egypt. Yeah. Well, he's going through the history.
Going back through the history.
Yeah, kind of.
Showing you that people interpret as a prophecy. They think that applies to today because of the parallels in history. When we came over here, we suffered here in captivity for 400 plus years. That actually happened in ancient Egypt.
Well, they was here 400 years?
They was here 430 years.
They was actually in Egypt for 430 years.
Well,
that going back to the beginning in Genesis, which he went back to the beginning. That's what the word Genesis means. He went back and basically he brought out the files, the records. Like, hey, this is what happened with our forefathers. And that 400-year prophecy, which our people today, they think it applies to today. No, that was talking about ancient Egypt.
In 16 1919 and 2019 prophecy?
That's
Wow.
no, that's out. That's
The
out.
slavery didn't start in 16.
He wouldn't be quoting this if that wasn't if that was an actual prophecy that wasn't fulfilled yet. You
He's
know?
talking about stuff that actually happened.
He's going through the history, so that
crazy
430 years is actually history.
Yeah.
So you can't make no there's no confusion.
Exception about it.
Yeah.
Make no mistake about it, you know.
I understand.
Go ahead.
Verse 7, and the nation to whom they shall be in bondage will I judge, saith the Most High, and after that shall they come forth and serve me in this place.
After they left out of Egypt, after the Lord used Moses to perform those miracles in the sight of Pharaoh, and the Most High basically brought down the Egyptian empire, man.
And he did that with making Joseph the king, right? Part of it, he did that as well as making Joseph the king in that time.
Well, before all that happened, he brought Joseph. Basically, Israel ended up in Egypt because there was a famine. But prior to that famine, years before that, the other brothers of Joseph, the sons of Jacob, they got angry with him and sold him into slavery. And those Midianites or those Ishmaelites, they basically brought him over to Egypt because those Ishmaelites, they basically had a relationship with the Egyptians because Hagar was an Egyptian. All right, the other wife of Abraham. Remember, you had the son of the bondwoman and the son of the free woman. The bondwoman was Hagar, the Egyptian woman. The other mother was Sarah, which that's where
The promise.
Isaac.
No, they both were Shemites.
Wait.
They're from Abraham, talking about Ishmael.
Yeah, Ishmael. Yeah, he's a Shemite. Go
They're from
ahead.
Abraham.
And he gave him the covenant of circumcision, and so Abraham begat Isaac and circumcised him in 8th day. And Isaac begat Jacob, and Jacob begat 12 patriarchs. And the patriarchs moved with envy, sold Joseph into Egypt, but the Most High was with him, and he delivered him out all his afflictions, and gave him favor and wisdom in the sight of Pharaoh, the king of Egypt. And he made him governor over.
And that's why he became big in Egypt, to where they basically promoted him to basically second in command over Egypt under Pharaoh, because he had the wisdom to interpret dreams just like Daniel did. And notice how Daniel became governor of the Neo-Babylonian Empire, man. One of the presidents, man. So that the same thing happened with Joseph. So we started on good terms with the Egyptians when we first came into the land of Egypt. All right, they gave us food, they let us sojourn there, but then, like it says in Exodus, there rose another Pharaoh that knew not Joseph, and he felt like, hey, well, them Israelites, man, they multiplying, they growing, they gonna overpower us in our land, man. So we need to put them to work. We need to put them in slavery, man.
And he made him governor over Egypt and all his house. Now there came a dearth over all the land of Egypt and Canaan, and great afflictions, and our fathers found no sustenance. For when Jacob heard that there was corn in Egypt, he sent out our fathers first. And the second time Joseph was made known to his brethren, and Joseph's kindred was made known unto Pharaoh. Then sent Joseph and called his father Jacob to him, and all his kindred 75 souls. So Jacob went down into Egypt and died, he and our fathers, and were carried over in Shechem.
I'm gonna tell you something real quick so everybody listen to this. This is basically, like you said, a crash course of the whole Bible, the history of the Bible, I should say. Pretty much a crash course.
And it was to show them that, because they was trying to accuse him of blasphemy.
Yep.
Y'all trying to say that I'm going against the grain? Well, I'm gonna give y'all the whole scoop right now.
That I'm not off
through the Holy Spirit, man.
Hey, plus I was laughing when I read it a couple times ago. It's like he was kind of stalling too, though. He knew it was coming.
Right.
And were carried over in Shechem, and laid in the sepulchre that Abraham brought for a sum of money of the sons of Emor, the father of Shechem. But when the time of the promise drew nigh, which Yahweh had sworn to Abraham, the people grew and multiplied in Egypt. Till another king arose, which knew not Joseph. The same dwelt subtly with our kindred and evil entreated our fathers, so that they cast out their young children to the end they might not live.
Man, he's breaking. He went from Genesis, now he's in Exodus right now. You know, going into how the Egyptians was trying to kill the Israelite babies, man. You know, same thing Herod did later during the Roman Empire, man. Go ahead.
In which time Moses was born and was exceedingly fair and nourished up in his father's house 3 months. And when he was cast out, Pharaoh's daughter took him up and nourished him for her own son. And Moses was learned in all the wisdom of the Egyptians and was mighty in words and deeds.
Yeah, so he grew up learning the Egyptian way. You know, just like how when we born into this society, we learn the American way. You know, but Moses, when he got to a certain age, the Lord woke him up and showed him, no, these are your people.
You're not Egyptian.
You're not the people that you grew up around in the household. That's not really your real household. You have an actual heritage.
You know, go allow them to learn all that.
Yeah.
All of it.
So you could only imagine what they was, trying to teach him in there. You know, he had the Egyptian attire. You know, they wore eye makeup and
the Prince of Egypt movie.
Yeah. They had the little trinkets, the gold. You know.
Yeah.
Some of them wore wigs, and there was some bug out. That was a truly bugged out kingdom, man. You know.
Yeah.
I got a good question. Where did the whole lineups thing come from? Like, that came from Egypt, right?
I've heard based on history that getting lineups or basically or shaving yourself bald. Yeah. That went back to the Egyptians because that was how they actually used to. That's how you used to mourn the dead. They would actually shave themselves, and they would also put tattoos on them or put markings for the dead, and that was a custom that they did. We was supposed to remain from that. You know, that's not part of our custom. You know.
Let me ask you a question real quick. Is there only one God?
Yep.
One God.
There's one Most High.
One God for the whole world, right?
There's one Most High God. Yes.
Okay, for the whole world.
Yeah.
Just for the United States. Different countries.
It's for the people of Israel, the real true children of Israel.
Okay. That's not my question. My question.
No, that was your question.
So my question is there only one God? That's the question I asked. It's the whole world, right? Let me ask you, you're out here. You want the people and the tribes to know the truth, right?
For these people, correct? The Israelites.
You want the people and the tribes to know the truth. So now these people that are in the tribes that need to know the truth, what do they need to know so they can go to heaven?
That's a very good question. Get what's that? Matthew 4 real quick. If I'm not mistaken.
120 something like that, or where you want?
Slow. You there? Matthew 4.
Matthew 4 and 17. Verbatim.
Yeah, just read it verbatim.
It's Matthew 4 and 17. From that time, Jesus began to preach and to say, repent, for the kingdom of heaven is at hand.
Basically, we out here because the kingdom of heaven is at hand for our people.
Your purpose is to spread the truth to people so they know the truth, correct?
Right.
But this is what you have to understand.
But why are you cutting me off while I'm trying to
Okay, I'm gonna listen to you, then I'm gonna tell you what I have to say. Go ahead.
So you coming up here just to tell me something?
No, I'm saying I'm asking questions. The first thing I did was ask you a question. But if you're spreading the truth, why is there so much anger in your face, bro, for spreading the truth? You want people to know the truth.
So
shouldn't be angered ever with God.
Yeah, let him talk to you.
Okay.
No,
Wait.
let him talk.
No. Let me. I'm about to tell you something. No. I'm about to tell you something.
He's showing respect.
You with this guy?
No, listen. We're not being aggressive.
Right.
Let him. We're gonna let him speak. Listen. I'm gonna let you speak. Okay, but when you ask a question, let them answer, and then once they answer, then you ask your question. So we're just dealing like men. We're gonna have a discord. We're not angry. We're not aggressive.
No, the first question
I'm just letting you know.
Okay,
So we're just gonna let her answer.
The reason of what you're doing is because you want people to know the truth. You want the people of the 12 tribes to know how they can get to heaven. Okay, the Bible is very clear how you can get to heaven. There's only one way to get to heaven. It doesn't matter if you're these 12 tribes or wherever you're. The Bible's very clear.
With scripture.
There's many scriptures, but there's only one truth. There's only one truth.
No.
There's only
You
one.
have to when you make statements.
What I have to say?
But I'm gonna let you. But when you make statements, the word has to back. The word has to back you up. So you got to come with scripture.
Let me explain something to you. Any Bible scholar can tell you what the Bible says, but that doesn't mean they have a relationship with God.
That doesn't mean they're right either.
That's true.
Okay? There's plenty of people that can tell you every single thing in the Bible have no clue who God is.
That's true. Hey, the devils believe and tremble.
But what I'm saying is your purpose is because you want people to know the truth. You want people of your 12 tribes to know the truth. This is what they need to know. They need to know how to get to heaven. They need to know they need to be saved before they die to get to heaven. Period. The Bible is very clear about that. Very clear.
Well, let me ask you.
It has nothing to do with tribes or race or anything like that. It has to do with there's only one God.
Okay, let me
Let him answer your question now. He's gonna answer your question. So let's not talk over people. All right.
Does the Heavenly Father want everybody to get the truth?
Absolutely. God doesn't want anyone to perish. He wants every single person to know the truth. That's in that Bible right there.
Sure.
100%.
Okay, we're gonna back it up with scriptures now. Okay.
Get John 6:44.
Just John 6.
And also, you give me Matthew 13 and 19.
It's John 6 and 44.
Can all people come to the Lord?
He wishes that none should perish. Everyone should
yes,
come to the saving grace of
All
God.
right.
John 6 and 44. No man can come to me except the Father which hath sent me draw him, and I will raise him up at the last day.
Now, do the Heavenly Father, is he set to draw everybody? Is he set to draw everybody?
There's one God for the whole world.
We've already established that. You already said that.
Okay, that's exactly what I'm saying.
So that God, does he want everybody drawn to him? Does he draw everybody?
Absolutely. He wants every single person that walks this earth to be saved. Every single one of us.
All right, get that, and then you give me that in Matthew
13, and 19.
You sit away from it.
Yeah, hold that.
God, this is Matthew 10, verse 5. These 12 Jesus sent forth and commanded them, saying, Go not into the way of the Gentiles, and into any city of the Samaritans enter ye not, but go rather.
Wait, that's part of all though. Don't go to those places.
Okay, well, let's go.
Let's say, let the scriptures. But go rather to the lost sheep of the house of Israel.
New Testament.
Okay, so,
Why did he command them to don't go to the Gentiles?
The people that God wants you to reach, since you're out here trying to reach people, okay, the people he wants you to reach.
We're not trying to just reach people.
Okay, the people that you're trying to reach, the group of people that you're trying to reach, the 12 tribes that you're trying to reach, you know what they need to know? They need to know if they're not saved before they die, they're going to go to hell. And that's the truth, and that's in that Bible. Period. Period.
So we're supposed to just take your word.
It's not my word.
Even though
I'm nobody.
So what scriptures are you coming?
But if I was walking by and you're trying to reach me, if I was part of your 12 tribes, if I'm looking at you guys and you have anger on your face and you're not trying to reach anybody,
And it's not for you.
it doesn't matter.
We were going in.
But all the anger we had on our face,
but
all the anger we had on our face, we had a crowd.
But the people you
We
walk
still have a crowd with all the anger
every
on our
single one of
face.
you have anger on your face. When you're walking by and you're trying to reach that person, how are you?